All right, we're going to call the meeting of the Economic Development Committee to order, starting at 9:06 a.m. on July 21st. At the last meeting, we all agreed that we'd start our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
So we'll start that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hello, everybody.
Morning.
Morning. We'll do a quick roll call for the record. Sorry.
Todd Donahoe, Treasurer.
Barbara Zarowski, Vice Chairman.
John Breyer, Chairman.
Ellen LaPrise, Clerk.
All right, and we have two members who are not going to be here today, Joanne and Marcia.
And Marcia, right.
All right, so the next item on the agenda here is to accept the minutes. And do we have any minutes? We don't yet. All right, so we will put that off.
We don't have a quorum.
Yep. So we'll roll that over to the next meeting there and catch up on that.
Okay.
Under old business, update on the progress with the Dudley brochure. Barbara, Ellen, I know you guys have been doing some work on that.
Ellen, you want to start? You have the other quotes, right?
I do.
No. Okay, I have a quotes from BT Copy, a business located in Charlton. Dennis Craig is the owner, and he is in our BNI group, so we are not afraid to refer our business to him, gratefully. He has produced the prices for the brochure. My understanding is of this kind. I don't know where I should put it, with them up in the back. And we have the numbers of the size is 29 by 16. 2,000 copies will cost us $16.75, and 2,500 copies, $18.70, $1,870. I am not quite sure what the maps mean in the quote. Ellen, do you know? The prices were with the two maps printed. I'm not sure what that means.
I wrote to him, asking him to confirm that. Yeah, the 2,500, that was for $16.95.
Right, but yes. But is it $16.95 in addition to $18.70?
I wasn't sure.
We will clean it up then.
Yeah.
We just got the quote last night, so we
And I
did
wasn't
not
sure
have a chance.
what type of paper. I got another quote from Miles Press, and theirs was for number 80 proof gloss text. Sounded like it was thick. It might be too thick. I'm not sure. But the price for 2,000 was $1,932. 2,500 copies would be $2,034. And that would be all folded and
So in total now, it looks like we have 3 quotes. You have the original quote. What was the original quote again?
The original quote was quite a bit more. That was with Kelly. Let's see. I know for hers, 2,000 copies. No, I don't remember. Here we go. Okay. For Kelly, 2,000 copies would be 2,000 would be $5,000. Wow. Big difference.
Big difference.
So you guys did really good here.
Yeah, right.
And 2,000 was 4,500. Now, what we need to find out is she was going to go out and take all the pictures.
That's what I think.
Okay.
And do all the writing and.
All right, so the original quote, she was sort of going to take care of the content, the picture, just give us a finished product, which explains probably the difference.
Yeah, right.
The difference.
That's what it was. Now I remember, because we also had those bigger brochures, and she was going over this with us of how the contents will. Yeah, that's okay.
So if we're willing to do more of the work for the map,
Should we? Yeah.
and I got some, when I went up to Charlton, they had extra maps of different kinds. And I thought they were just interesting. We could have a zoning map, we could have something that shows places are. Yeah, if you look in your package, you'll see you've got 3 maps.
I think that's what he meant. I'm gonna call.
All right, so,
One from the last Green Valley,
yeah,
and one from, they have a historic district, which is what Dudley's working on now.
which is actually almost the same exact size as the other one, yeah.
It's a little bit smaller.
2 maps printed at the same time.
All right.
I'm not sure what kind of paper you would call this, but I could definitely find out.
I know that BT Copy quoted it exactly with that quality.
Okay.
That's what I know.
We quoted
And,
on this.
yeah, and I will double check on the mapping, but is that how you gave it to him? Is that what you did?
I gave him the historical one.
Right, and this is what he meant. He meant this, plus those 2 maps printed at the same time as this, so he's giving us discount. So what that means is, for 2,500, which we should concentrate on, it's 1870. To print, in addition to this, those 2 maps, with of course with Dudley instead of Charlton, that will cost us additional $16.95. So for all those 3, would be 1870 plus $16.95.
Okay.
You see? He took it as you want them to work on this, which is okay, because we have a price. I don't think we were interested in printing the maps, right?
No,
In
it was
addition
just
to the
to
brochure.
show.
I can see how he can take it like that. I would do that too.
Different kinds of maps.
Yeah, all that he wanted is this. So this will cost us $18.70 to go with him and to do our own, insights and pick our
Price was
own.
definitely better.
'Cause if I could just ask a question, because if the price that was quoted, and we know Dennis from BT Copy, and I've had a number of different interactions with him and his company, and they do. The service, the quality, everything like that is just top-notch. So, yeah, I mean, I would recommend highly using them. My question would be, in regards to if we have to provide the content, I mean, we also do have somebody that we know who could take pictures if we don't already, but does the town have anything that's already either on some sort of a, on a photo library or something that's online that we could use, that we've either already, already purchased or anything like that? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, maybe we could also utilize a contact who's a photographer to take some shots of just make it similar to this. Some places within Dudley, not kind of make it too complicated, because I do think having an actual physical brochure is important. I do also think that nowadays more and more people just go directly to the website, and I think we have to put a lot of our attention on the website as well. But I mean, when people call or people walk into the town hall and they want to, grab something, I think having a brochure is very important. But so I don't know if we'd have to make a motion today in regards to who we're going to choose for the printing company, and how are we going to address the pictures on the brochure. That's my question, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think we need to decide today who we're going to choose.
Okay.
Unless the board wants to. I think figuring out the photography and the content is a big factor. I was going to bring it up a little later, but the town administrator is available to meet next week, and he was going to have Deb, who manages the website, available.
Okay.
So the only day he cannot meet is Wednesday. So if we want to find a time that's good for everybody, I can simply post another meeting, and it'll just be, at his office.
Great,
So,
let's do
'cause
it.
originally, that's why we kind of did two pairs of twos.
Okay.
But if you guys want to actually be there to understand the website, then we can ask them about the photography at that point.
Right.
the
I think that's a
content,
great
and what
idea.
resources might be.
Right.
Perfect.
All right. And
Yeah,
then,
does Thursday work for everybody, or is there a certain day next week that
Thursday
works
at what
better?
time?
well, yeah, you tell me, and I'll go to Greg and see what
Okay.
works for him. But Thursday works best for you, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe 9:30 or 10 o'clock. It's tough for us to get
Okay.
here right away.
All right. So what if I shot for 10 o'clock?
Okay, all
That'd be
right.
See
great.
if that worked for him. And then is there an alternative if that doesn't work for the board?
I'm pretty open next week, so
I'm pretty open morning until 3.
So,
I will make it
so
work.
so could we throw him either Tuesday or Thursday at 10 a.m.? See which one works for him?
I do
or-
have a meeting at 10 a.m. at
Okay.
my bank.
All right.
So Tuesdays is kind of tough
All right.
at that time.
And Monday wouldn't give us enough time to post it.
Yeah, no.
Right, okay.
All right, so we'll see if Thursday, 10 o'clock works, or if it's sometime on Thursday,
Yeah.
and
Okay. I'll put it on.
And we
Alright.
will, we could ask Tim, photographer,
Okay.
to give us an idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Going with this, how many shots we will need, say, you know, he can.
It was college, they sent their own photos.
Right,
Right.
so we can, when we go to that meeting, we can have an
Have an
understanding
idea.
of the packaging, this whole thing, because this is great.
Yeah, and, Mr. Chairman, just a quick question. Will, and I don't, excuse me if this has already been touched upon, but, I mean, one of the topics of discussion with our town manager, would that be, have they already decided a budget for us, or how much money that they're going to allot to us, or no?
I don't know definitively the answer to that question. It's my understanding, based upon conversations,
That they've,
that there's put aside like $4,500 or
Okay.
$5,000 in total for the entire project.
got it.
And I think that was a combination of contributions, donations, and maybe what the town had put aside for it as well.
Okay.
And we're still waiting on one,
Okay.
Yeah.
so.
What are we waiting for, Alan?
uh,
For the quote, you mean, for the bid? On the printing?
Ramco said that they would like to donate.
Oh, you mean for the donation?
Right.
Right.
You know, it's interesting, on the historical map, I noticed that Massachusetts Turnpike Authority Tourism Grant Program actually paid for that for them. So,
There's a lot of information on these
yeah.
maps.
Let's see what that's about.
That's why I brought them up.
Maybe it's because the pike actually runs through the community, but we'll,
Sure.
I mean, each one is different,
yeah.
so we can pick out, you know,
Okay.
what we want. I've been speaking with a gentleman at CMRPC in Worcester.
So has thought been given to what the actual content is going to be? I know last time we talked about the map itself reflecting some of the recreational opportunities and assets. Also have zoning incorporated in that. But on the different panels, have you really thought about yet what you'd like to see or what you're envisioning?
Well, I know that Joanne and Marsh really like this format, and they like the way it's set up. So it's got existing agribusiness base in Charlton. Then if you look at it this way, it says existing economic base in Charlton. So that would be for Dudley. And then, if you open it up this way, you got your map, then you have existing economic development opportunities in Dudley. So we have quite a few places that are open.
And that's the challenge
Business.
with the real estate,
That is
right?
correct. That's my only portion of the brochure in question. So the question for, say, BT or anybody, any other bidder will be how, if we have an access and how quickly we can change it, but then that means reprinting it. If any of those, you know, those are all moving parts.
Right, oh, yeah.
See, this is from 2007. This CVS exists already since 2007. It's just, I have questions, and I don't
It's
see
only a
this like that.
format. It's only a format for us to go by.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but so, like I said, these sections are perfect. I don't think we should reinvent the wheel. The town history, existing agribusiness, this is great, existing economic base. That should be just the people that donate it, Nichols House. That would take,
Well, that's
A
what
lot of
my
space.
question was, like, if you're going to be taking, showcasing businesses, how do we select those? Is it based on, I mean, are they going to pay to be in the brochure?
Be
Or,
donated.
or donation, I mean,
yeah.
Or is it just something that, if we have, like, for example, in Dudley, we've got, companies that have been here for a long time, like, Webco,
They've
things like
donated.
that we could,
Yeah, we have Wacko. We have Nichols College.
Nichols College, things like that that are, have been for many, many years a big part of the community as either an employer or, you know, just been around for a long time. And then do we showcase any new businesses? I don't know. It's up to you. I mean, I think it's up to our vote, but how was it done in the past? Like, when you research this, these companies right here, are you saying that they've actually made a donation to help with the brochure?
This is Charlton.
Right, I know.
So my thoughts were, you know, each one of us go through, you know, come up with ideas of what
Okay.
we would like to see and maybe write up a little something about it. The golf course,
Right,
we definitely want the golf course.
right.
Our school system is really good.
Right.
I think we should also expect those people that we think, once we decide who will go on that brochure,
Right.
that they will participating as a donation or any other way, you know, to producing this brochure. Because we can have Nichols College who donated and say golf course who didn't to be on the same page. It's just disrespectful, I think,
No, I
to the
agree
person who
personally.
donated.
Right.
So what we need to do, we need to figure out how many we can fit. And I personally believe that it's better to have more of existing, filling those both,
Right,
with maybe like a little square window,
Yeah.
as if you need to know of any open opportunities.
right.
Development in our town, please contact
Okay.
the board and the town. Because this is moving, those are moving parts, and we don't want to reprint this,
Right.
you know.
At our last meeting, we really kind of were focusing in on the whole theme of live, work, and play in Dudley. So,
Maybe that should be
so
it.
so maybe on the one side, right, we talk about the economic.
Yeah,
And to keep that structure, and maybe on this side here is maybe the play side.
Perfect.
Right,
And we feature, you know, the Dudley Land Trust and the Rail Trail and the Black Tavern, right? And, you know, things that families could take advantage of and people living here, just to know, and who knows, maybe put it on their refrigerator.
I think it's a great idea.
What do we want to do in Dudley this weekend?
I know.
Restaurants.
I know.
I'm sure 88 is one of them. Will be, once they see what we have, what we mean by
Right.
this, you know, once we show them, because we were not able to show the people that we approached how it's going to be. We didn't have any physical evidence of how
we
the
have the
money will be
booklets.
spent.
We have the booklets.
I know, but booklets, you know, this is good. We're gonna go to Gentex, we're gonna say, hey, you wanna be on this part of here, you wanna join this bigger players in Dudley. Would you be interested in donating towards producing this brochure?
Right.
And in exchange, we will showcase your business name, and I'm sure they will.
Right.
We just didn't have this in our hands, going
Sure.
in there and showing them, you know, we just had an
Right.
idea.
So my question for, what was the company low one so far, BT Copy?
BT copy,
Do they have the capability in the graphics program so that, I mean, because in talking, it looks like we're going to come up with our own content. It's just kind of naturally.
Yeah.
So really, what we're going to need the professional help with is, okay, here are the pictures that we've got, right, and then laying it out. Because I don't know if any of us here has, you know, any graphic design program that can actually do this and say.
They do that, BT copy does it, because they've done it for many
Right.
of our people.
So would his quote be helping us or working with us to actually put it
Right,
together?
and you know, and also for the content, I mean, we also do have another former BNI member who was a Dudley resident. She's moved, and I could reach out to her, Sue Shalhoub, who is a writer, a freelance writer, and she does many, many things just like that. She has her own company called Plum Editorial, and we could see, I'm sure we could get a very competitive, reasonable price. And, because obviously I'd like to use people that have ties to Dudley, if we're going to be using companies to help us with this. And you know, because I don't know about you all, but I'm not sure if I could put the pen to the paper and actually put something down that's, you know, that passes the
Mine would have
the
a million-
literary test.
Yeah, mine would have a million typos.
Well, that's it, so, right. And I think that, you know what, this obviously is going to take a little bit of time. I mean, I know we're all extremely busy, but I would be more than happy to make time to work with anybody in regards to going and setting up meetings with companies that want to be showcased with Nichols College. I'm sure together we can figure out who do we need to talk to at these places in regards to just having a quick, letting them know. I'm sure, I'd be surprised if we weren't, if we didn't get a warm reception and have people that were interested, to help us with this particular endeavor. And maybe we could also discuss, listen, if they were able to contribute to this, to help us, take care of some of the cost, that maybe, that could also include a presence on our website when we decide to really go in and update that as well. I don't know, that's just food for thought.
That's what we promised to those people who already donated. Nichols already donated.
Oh, they did,
So
okay.
my thing is also that I know that Nichols College Gentex, they already have pictures and the verbiage they're using for those kind of things. So what we would have to tell them is, do you have it? And if you do, how big is it? So there will be, you see, we vote for BT copy, then we can ask him, okay, this is how many we have. What is the verbiage? What is that, what count? And when we go, and then we go, when we have a full picture, we go to Nichols and we say, okay, we're gonna, put your stuff on it, but we need to know if you have, or you can shrink your stuff to, say, 500 words. I don't know, I'm just making that.
Got it, yeah.
Yes, most of them do have it because they do it all the time, those bigger companies. They already have this, they already have the picture that they want to use.
Right.
Because that's what they do. And they, for the most part, they do have a verbiage.
Okay.
So it seems like the board, all the members have the same vision, right? We all want the same goal. It's now just a matter of kind of executing and getting it done. And you guys have done a great job so far, just even getting us to this point. So part of me just says, the board should just let you guys go, make decisions, and come back with a draft.
Right, sounds
And-
great.
and rather than waiting for the monthly meetings and input on this and that.
Yeah.
So I guess the chair will entertain a motion to empower the people that are working on the brochure to do what they have to do and come up with a draft.
I second that.
All right, so Todd, you technically made the motion.
Technically, I'm sorry, I'll make the motion, Chairman.
Is there a second to that?
I second.
A second? Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
So just go at it.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
Let's get it done.
Hopefully by Thursday we can have some better.
I'll work with you on this.
So now we don't have to worry about, we gotta get this approval or that approval, just run with it.
Yeah, and then we'll decide
Exactly.
where they're gonna go, and
Beautiful. These are pretty nice, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
They are, they're very nice.
yeah.
sticky notes on that.
All right, next on the agenda is new business. Planning for signage and advertising for our online transaction safe zone. First, so the replay, I was away on vacation.
Oh, you did?
You guys did great. Absolute home run. And Ellen, the way you tied in your own personal experience and how a zone like this would have helped, and
Yep.
and you're just natural.
It's interesting because I haven't really in the number of years that I've lived in Dudley, I can unfortunately confess that I haven't watched the local access TV, and now I'm starting to watch it. But every time I turn it on, and I should just see what the schedule of it. It's always after I've spoken. And I can never see just to see how bad I was.
No, you should be very proud of your performance.
Well,
you did really good.
you know what? We had a great amount of support. There was a great reaction. Chief Wayner was awesome. He came and sat down with us. He was very supportive of the idea. There were a lot of things on the agenda that night, and we had an overwhelming support from the town selectmen, and from the emails that I've read from that were forwarded to me, that what we do now is we just got to come up with, okay, what do we need for signage? What do we need? Just iron out a few details, and then we can move forward with it. So I think that's just one of many things, hopefully, as a committee, that we're going to be able to come up with. And that was your idea, John, so I thought that was, that was really great, and that was overwhelmingly just like, okay, yeah, geez, why haven't we thought of that kind of a thing, you know? So,
great idea.
great job.
So the chief will be available next week.
Next week? Okay.
Yeah. And basically, the layout of the police station, right, there is a little table here where, meeting notifications are set up. Right, here's the dispatch center. Then you have a chair and a chair. You have a soda machine here and a soda machine there. So in doing a little bit more homework on it, the most successful exchange zones offer the opportunity both outside and inside.
Inside as well, yeah.
Outside, a lot of those transactions are for the larger items, and even people selling cars, when they come up with, $5,000 or $6,000 cash and don't want to be robbed,
Right.
that's where those are being used. So what we'll have to discuss with the chief is this little table sufficient enough, or there's about an 8-foot space between the two soda machines that maybe we could throw a table and some signage there.
Right.
Outside, what I did do, Webster, I didn't know this, Webster has an exchange zone.
They do.
Yes, and I went there and I took some pictures. They don't have an inside one, it's just outside,
Just outside?
all right? And that's the signage, and they were actually reserved 2 parking spots. And I have an additional picture here of the actual sign. They call it a safe exchange location. And, sorry, there you go.
Stay here.
Thank you.
Now, the concern with some police departments across the country is by calling it safe, they don't want to infer to people that it's 100% guaranteed safe.
Right.
Because nothing's ever guaranteed in life except death and taxes.
That's right.
So some other places have, and I went online for that one, actually call it internet purchase exchange location. The one thing that they all have in common, very clearly on the signs, is this area is under video surveillance.
Right.
It's great.
All right? So really, it's what it should be called.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah, is there a way to zoom in on that? See how good you are with the camera?
Just so people can see. And if they have any comments or suggestions, always welcome.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, with the verbiage, not, like you said, by putting, safe. I mean, we hope that it will be, and I'm sure it will be safe. And I think that when this area is under video surveillance, I did a little bit of research online too, finding some other different places and reading some articles about police departments and towns that have incorporated this. And yeah, I mean, if somebody's going to be making an exchange or a purchase or some sort of a transaction, a lot of times, if the person decides, say, okay, listen, we're going to meet at the police department, if they're up to something, or if there might be some foul play potentially at hand, they won't show up, or they'll, and I think that that's great. One thing that I'm trying to remember, maybe refresh my memory, was it Selectman Paul?
Yeah, Paul Joseph.
Paul
about
Joseph,
the
yep.
disclaimer.
The
And I think
disclaimer that not that, and it didn't dawn on me that, people don't have to use these locations, that this is voluntary. I think voluntary was the word, because we don't want anybody to think that, you have this is the only way that you can conduct these transactions, because obviously that's not the case. You're free to do it at your house or wherever, but just this is going to, give the opportunity, give people the opportunity to do it here at the police station. Do they have like similar things set up here already for like, when there's like custody issues or things like that with, parents that are divorced or things like that, where they exchange the kids as well? I mean, is that something that's currently happens here, or is that, do we know that? Because would it be this, I guess my question would be, would this be, I know this sign says internet exchange, but is there something that already is in existence here?
Well, there's actually a practice, the town administrator said that there's a number of people that swap their kids here for exactly that purpose and, you know,
Visitation.
outside already, because it is monitored.
Right, okay.
So, that's why, you hate to do internet purchase exchange, right? Because it really could be any kind of an exchange location, anything where someone is looking for some additional level of safety. But yet, do we actually want to call it a safe exchange location?
Or should it just be
They're
exchange
promising
location? Because, you're right, it could be internet, it could be anything.
It could just be,
Exchange location. You just can promise something that gives an idea
yeah.
what
And that's what we'll be able to talk, when the chief.
Chief about?
Yeah, the chief next week, and town administrator. And maybe what we'll even do is, after we go through the web stuff, maybe we could just take a walk downstairs, since we'll be in session technically, and.
Perfect.
And maybe iron that out with everybody right there, and what his preference would be.
Exactly.
So the chief will be, the meeting with the chief will be the same meeting as.
Well, that's what I'll try to coordinate
be
then,
gr-
yeah.
that'll
be great.
Yeah, I'll see if
Great.
he can make himself available for
Yep.
Thursday at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we will.
And that way, we'll take care of the web stuff, and then right afterwards,
Yeah, we will.
shoot down and see if we can iron that out. The other thing, when you're outside, maybe when you leave the building today, there is a heavy little traffic area. You want to make sure that you're never encumbering the police vehicles.
Right.
And you got the playground, which a lot of these other places don't have right next.
Right.
So it's, where is this outside
Where's the ideal?
location gonna be?
I know, I've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a thought? Or you're still thinking about
The
it?
thought is, we need to go down and scope it out.
Yeah,
Right,
And maybe after this meeting, we could just go
yeah,
and take a
just,
look.
yeah.
take a look.
Look.
Sure. And another thing, too, also, is that in some of the articles that I read, was also having some sort of a disclaimer, like, for example, that, we don't want to place any more further burden or any type of more responsibility on the police department. So, for example, we don't want residents to think that, okay, because it's here, that they're gonna, that this, not to use the word safe, but exchange location is gonna, like if something goes sour, if they, like in regards to the quality of one of, the goods that they're purchasing, or this, that, and the other thing, that really it's the police officer, it's the surveillance piece, that they don't have to come in and check and say, okay, I'm sure one of the officers would if they said, listen, could you come outside because I'm purchasing a vehicle and I'm going to be handing over some money. I don't want them to feel, because of all the, responsibilities and all the things that they do already, to feel that this is going to be any type of further responsibility for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Personally, I say, let's get the police chief and
See what
the
he
town
has to say.
administrator, and
Okay.
let's iron it out,
Let's iron it out.
And as far as, the disclaimer that I know Selectman Joseph asked, we could just ask town council to come up with a disclaimer.
Okay,
He's a lawyer, and we can post that on the website.
great.
The one thing that I did do that we can ask is, is the online tips to be safe as part of the section on talking about the safe zone. And I'm not gonna go through all of it, but you touched on it earlier, Todd. If somebody's not willing to come to the police department to conduct a transaction, then it's likely not a legitimate transaction.
Right.
And so, and then once you're at the location, don't have the other party change the location. And so maybe we'll just throw, tips like
Safety
that.
tips, yep.
This would be good to have on our webpage. We'll have the Economic Development Committee, and then we'll have this will be one heading, but have the safe tips and what the setup is. So
I
people
agree.
can go online and see.
Yep. And then the sign itself, Michelle, who's the assistant there for the selectmen, they've got sources.
Yeah.
Right.
And we can see what that is, and depending on the cost, maybe we get a donation or see if there's some, pocket money, that can get one printed up. So I'll shoot for, right after this, I'll go to Greg Thursday. If I can, what I'll do is I'll go to Laura and I'll post the notice of a meeting immediately. And then we'll
Wonderful.
take care of that.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, so we're just gonna shoot for next Thursday at 10 a.m., if that works for everybody.
Okay.
And next Wednesday, I go before the planning board,
Oh, okay.
so,
Do you need us to do anything on that, or?
no.
Okay.
They could have just approved it, I wish they had. But they've got a lot of changes going on in
Yeah.
the planning department, so,
And I think there's oh no, Pam Humphreys was the write-in, so she's on the board now there, too.
she is, but I think they're looking for even more people.
Really?
Yeah.
Mind you, the businesses.
All right. Is there any additional information on the online transaction safe zone or comments?
No.
All right. The next item on the agenda was a mission statement. Any thoughts on that?
Last night, I was listening to some of the meetings that we've been to. Paul Joseph really wants us to get involved with the politicians, you know, with our state representatives and our senators, invite them to our meetings, get to know them, have them get to know us, and let them know what it is that Dudley needs from them. And he's very interested in getting the infrastructure from West Main Street down through West Dudley, right into Southbridge.
Yeah.
He's got his heart set on that.
So we have to tie it into a one-paragraph mission statement.
There is a mission statement we have produced before, and it is on a website, so we can maybe tweak it
to do
and
it.
maybe present, you know, and see what can be added or changed. It's right under, you know, our committee, which is, I think it's the core is good, the base of that
We
statement.
might be able to get on right now and actually read it.
Read it, yeah.
All right.
And this is our mission statement for the Economic Development Committee.
That's one of the challenges with the website's really not mobile friendly.
We're gonna try to talk to Lena too, to maybe sit down at the meeting and see,
Right.
just to listen, at least absorb and see
Right.
what we can do.
I
No.
can't get it.
No,
The
that's
site's
fine.
just not conducive to.
Well, why don't we, you know, if it's...
We want to take that up on the next meeting, really
Yeah,
spend some
if,
time on
like,
that?
really, from now until the next meeting, we'll take a look at on the website what's there and see if there's anything else that we can really, I know most mission statements, you know, are, you know, the less wordy, the better. You know what I mean?
Right to the
Just
point.
kind of get right to the point, you know, really, if we can think about what we are really, what do we want to do? What do we want to see, you know, in the town that we want to live in? And I know, and maybe get some feedback. I'll see if I can get some feedback from, you know, folks, friends, people that live in the town, and see, you know, what, you know, folks that have been here for many, many years and people that have just moved in, you know, and kind of get some feedback. And then at the next meeting, maybe we could all come with something that we maybe each have prepared. Whether it be just edits to what's already there or something completely different.
Also, on that website, underneath that statement, there's on a site, there's a link, which we already exercised that. We have sent it through the Facebook to the residents to comment to us with, you know, with how they see the Dudley to be. And there's some comments on that. I will see if I can print it out.
That's a
They're
great idea.
old, they're from, you know, 3 years ago, so which will be, we can revisit this whole idea of, you know, sending this to the people through the social media
Right.
and invite them to come here to tell us in person.
All right.
I think it's a great
So we'll
idea.
make that one of the primary items on the next,
Okay.
take care of that. Is there anything new that anybody would like to discuss or bring up? We'll go through each person.
No, But just a kind of a comment in regards to a new business in town. The night that I was appointed, he was in the crowd. The owner of Sturbridge Coffee Roasters, who just opened up on West Main Street in the plaza, across from the Cumberland Farms, where Jimmy's Pizza and things is. The owner's first name is Elvis. And I had an amazing experience there. Hopefully they're going to do, I know he's going to do extremely well. And it was just great to see somebody who is, been in business for a while and expanding his business, but has also lived in Dudley, but just a great place to visit. And I would encourage anybody who likes coffee, really likes coffee, good coffee, to go visit Sturbridge Coffee Roasters, even though it's in Dudley. But so I had a great, and we had talked because he was here that night, and he had some great comments too in regards to the development of the economic development of the town and things like that. So I think the point that I'm trying to make is I think that as part of the Economic Development Committee, maybe we should try to all make it a point to not only frequent, but really have some good conversations with some of the local business owners and really to get their feedback. Not only patronize their business, but kind of understand, what they're going through, because I can't think of any greater, source of feedback than the people that are either, just opening businesses or businesses that have been around for a long time. That's my comment.
I second that. We have ordered
Yep.
in the office lunch from Coffee Roasters, very good. And I think that could be potentially somebody we should get invited here.
Absolutely.
To talk to us more about it. My thing is the beach. I love the idea about beach being for the Dudley residents.
I
I
think a
think
lot
we
of
should
people
invite
have.
the beach committee people to come in front of us and let us know what the big plans are for the next year. And maybe we should get involved with that,
I agree.
because I love it.
It's funny, I have that as
Yeah.
well, because, I absolutely agree with what they did as well
Oh, yeah.
right now. But a part of me smells an opportunity here.
Economic development.
That's what I said.
Absolutely.
I thought, hey, listen, you know what? Why can't we have, what a great source of some summer employment for some, Dudley high school folks or, college age, whoever, and to have something there, because it is a nice little place, whether it be, not saying that, parking or whatever, but just to have something going on there, because that would be something to put in the brochure and
Yeah.
wow, what a great, we have a beach as well, a nice little private beach, or not private, public access, but yeah, I agree. Something that we could do with that to help, generate some economic development for the town.
Can we invite them, the beach committee? There's a committee for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We'd
can.
love to.
Invite them for the meeting, see how we can collaborate.
And when you look at that asset and some of the other recreational assets that we have that are used by many people outside the community that don't pay taxes, I know the rail trail has had a huge issue with illegal dumping. So a part of me says, let's do a stakeout, let's do $5,000 fines, and let's help fund some of these organizations
Right.
with outside revenue. So I don't know. I don't know what it looks like, but I think we have some really smart people in town and on the board, and
And things are happening.
exactly. So, and the other boards are very open to suggestions and recommendations, so I'm glad we were watching the issue and all thinking that there's something there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else on that? What about you, Ellen? Anything you'd like to bring up?
Well, I need to know, who we want to invite. Barbara, you said there
I
was
will
2
email you.
people that you wanted to invite. And then I listened to Paul Joseph, and I thought, well, we need to invite,
Next meeting. It might be easier.
So what's the best
Ryan
way?
Fatman.
Well, I'd like to get
Peter
Ryan and
Branch.
Peter in. when there's something specific
Right.
Yeah.
we need done. I mean, so I was going to bring it up, later because it's still very early. But one of the challenges Dudley has is there's a lot of state mandates that are put on Dudley that Dudley has no control over. And one of them that the planning board always faces is these 40B projects, which low income.
Right.
Right, so the state has said, okay, if 10% of your housing is, not certified as this, basically a developer can come in and for the most part ignore the zoning bylaws and throw projects down
Right.
your throat. And what's not taken into consideration there is that 37% of Dudley's housing stock is actually rentals. And when you look at our average income, it's very affordable. And so, we're kind of looking at the state statutes now to say, how do we certify the residences and the apartments in town to meet and get the state to say, okay, Dudley, you are in compliance with that 10% of your housing stock being affordable.
Right.
It goes between student housing, right, the senior housing. And if we can get ourselves exempt from 40B, we will never have any outsider coming in here
Right.
and trying to throw some housing project down in one of our main economic districts.
Right. I think that's
Right? So
absolute-
that's the kind of stuff that I'd really like to, once we have our ducks in a row, call in Ryan, call in,
Right.
Peter, and say, we need you to help us get this exemption.
Right.
And there's other things as well. So, it's passion. I hate when the state and the feds mandate cities and towns to do something, they don't give them the money to do it.
Right.
That's right.
So that was one of my things. But if you want to, to have them come in for informational purposes or whatever, I mean, I'm more than willing to make the phone calls.
I'm interested in over 55 housing.
Yep.
And I would love to get a group of doctors that are Lyme literate. That would draw a lot of people here.
Okay.
But to eat, to come, you could set up and draw a lab.
Oh, really?
We got real problems with our lab testing for Lyme disease. It usually comes up negative, and that's not the case.
Really.
No,
And it just devastates people's lives. So those are things that I'm
Okay.
interested. I've been talking to Ryan Batman about it. I'd like to talk further.
Okay.
And I don't know how we would go about doing that, trying to attract doctors who that's their specialty. But
Very
I think
interesting.
we should bring them in. The more the merrier.
should.
Educate people, the
There is
residents,
nobody in
direct them
Worcester.
anything. Yeah, direct
no,
people in the
right
right
now you have to
direction.
go all the way to Northampton or to Boston.
I agree, and I think, getting them all, even whether it be just a meet and greet with all of us at the get-go, but I also do agree with what John said. I mean, these are folks that are obviously very, very busy, that, I think we would need to have very specific items in regards to, to show them that we've done maybe our homework or due diligence, and saying, okay, these are the specific things that, and not, inundate them with a huge laundry list, but just say, listen, these are the top things on our priority list for the coming year, for the coming X number of years. How can you help, whether it be the 40B issue, the Lyme disease, and getting some doctors and some facilities around here, the over 55 housing, whatever it may be. But just, my fear would be that we'd get them here, and that we wouldn't really have a lot of, specifics to dive into. So I think that we need to really make sure that that's something that we have. And even if we don't have all the, we haven't been able to devote all the time to it, but at least as a committee agree as to what we really want to, what items we're going to have that we feel are most important, that we really need their help with. And that's all I need to say about that. Okay.
Now with 40B, would that, that's for low income?
Yeah, it was originally designed for places like Martha's Vineyard, all right, where your local school teachers and your police, employees couldn't afford the houses to live there anymore, right? They're serving the community, but yet the price of real estate just was pricing them out. So that was the original intent. And like any good law or good intention, you get opportunistic lawyers that just keep taking it, and they tried to use it on us in Dudley at one point, where a developer came in and tried to, right by the courthouse, propose 300 homes on quarter-acre lots with 15 to 20, exit points out on 197 there. And came in, the lawyers beating their chests, you have to do this, you don't have a choice. I mean, we ended up killing it over curb cuts. We required them to go get curb cuts from Mass Highway and then resubmit the proposal. But we would have been in a bind. And it was fully their intention to make money on this. And they were using this, the 40B, which was a good law with a good intent at one point, to just try to overshoot and supersede.
Yeah, and these folks are coming in who don't live in the community.
Exactly.
They have no stake in the community. They're just out for making a buck, and they're probably going to target communities that they know or they may think that aren't, that don't have the exemption or are not compliant, like you had said.
Yeah.
So I think that is a
And
huge.
one of the issues is, right now, you have the whole Stevens-Lennon's debate, right? A beautiful old factory there, right? And there was talk about maybe making the bottom level, some shopping and restaurants and stuff like that. And they're using the 40B that now can't do it. It's got to all be low-income housing. And that's just nonsense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the town has got to get that negotiating position back where we can work with people.
Right.
And not have them keep threatening us with lawsuits that we have to do this, because we don't have to do anything.
Right, exactly.
At the
I
end of
agree.
the day.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you can really plan out something nice, right? You could have a master plan, you could have a community plan, and it all goes out the window with one of those type projects. That's all we want. We just want to get rid of that.
Protect ourselves.
Yeah.
That's a great.
I mean, I would love, you look there and say, if they did do something at the basement level, made it shops, and did do 55 and over, we need 55 and over housing here in Dudley. We do. We're
Right.
running out of it.
Yeah.
And, the seniors are having a tough time as property taxes go up and all these other expenses go up. Their incomes are fixed. So how do we solve that? But 40B doesn't really make that exception for 55 and over.
Okay.
So that's what. But the other new business I had was a reminder that we still are looking for new members.
Oh, right, right.
If you're at home right now and you have Thursday mornings available for the most part, once a month, and you think you can offer some good to the town, we've got open seats. We'd love to have
Please,
you.
welcome.
I did want to do a shout out and a congratulations to the Dudley Land Trust, and especially the Wheelock family there. They donated 87 acres, and I guess they had a nice ceremony the other day over there.
Oh, wow, great.
So that continues to build those recreational opportunities here in Dudley.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And I saw on that I guess they have a very nice garden tour scheduled for this Saturday
Yes.
with a rain date of Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's a collaboration effort between the Dudley Conservation Land Trust and the Dudley Women's Club. All the proceeds are going to be given to the Dudley Conservation Land Trust.
Great.
And everybody is getting together, I guess, at 9:45 a.m. at the Black Tavern Porch, which is 138 Center Road in Dudley, on the morning of the tour. So I would encourage anybody that's looking for something very nice to do on Saturday to go appreciate Dudley and join a good cause.
And I hear the weather's supposed to be fantastic, too, so.
Oh, good.
And that is all I had. Any other?
I'm all set.
All right, so the follow-up is I'll get back to everybody on Thursday, 10 a.m., and the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Okay, you've made the motion.
I've made the motion. Sorry, I've got to get used to this.
Let's see, all seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.